Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I've been diving into this Indonesian folklore thing, and it's wild. There's this legend called the parakang from this place called Pinrang, and I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, the parakang stories are passed down through generations all over Sulawesi. In Pinrang especially, it's like woven into everyday life, you know?
Okay, so wait, how does this even start? Like, what's the origin?
Okay, so picture this. Farmers had to climb these crazy steep hills to harvest their crops, then carry everything back down on foot. Just brutal work,
Oh man, that sounds exhausting.
right? So people started looking for shortcuts, and someone whispered about making deals with spirits. There's this black magic called tarek that supposedly lets you teleport.
Wait, what? Teleport? Like, actually just appear somewhere else?
Yeah, at first it was just to avoid the climbing, you know? But then greed kicked in and people started using it for pesugihan, like ritual wealth seeking.
And that's where things go wrong, right? That's when the parakang shows up?
Exactly. So here's the thing. Parakang aren't like supernatural monsters. They're humans who lose control when the power takes over. Their eyes turn red and they become violent.
That's creepy. And there are different levels?
Yeah, two types. Low-level ones stay in human form, but go naked at night with red eyes, and they go after livestock organs. High-level ones keep their clothes, can act during the day, and they target humans.
Wait, the book says they can kill with just a look?
Yeah, a high-level Potakon can literally make someone drop dead with a glance. The low-level ones eat animal guts, but the high-level ones want human blood and fetuses.
Jesus. Okay, so the story focuses on this family, right? Starting with a guy named Ibaba in the 60s?
Right, so Dale, the grandfather, meets Ibaba, who's this friendly middle-aged guy. He becomes the gardener for this respected family, Pak Arung.
And then cattle start showing up ripped open?
Yeah, someone screams, "Help, help, my cow is dead." People rush over and find the cow's organs are just gone.
So what do they do?
The village elder tells everyone to stay up at night and watch their livestock. That's when Dale's friend Jusran actually sees it happen.
Wait, he sees the parakang? What does he see?
Okay, so Jusran is guarding this pregnant cow, right? He hears noises, comes back with a torch, and sees this creature with half its body inside the cow's belly, like literally crawling into the carcass with its legs sticking out.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Jusran freaks out and burns the legs with his torch. It runs away and he's shouting Patakang, Patakang, but nobody hears him right away.
So they go looking for someone with burned legs.
Exactly. And guess who comes back limping with a nasty burn from ankle to calf?
Ibaba.
Yep, Dale checks him out, and Ibaba says he burned himself while burning trash, but people are suspicious because he'd already been kicked out of his home village for the same thing.
So he gets expelled again and things calm down for a bit.
For like a decade, yeah. But then, in the 70s, Dale's son Toding is a teenager and the terror comes back. There's this powerful family, Kakak Aras, and his relatives, and they're connected to Ibaba's line.
Why does Dell warn Toting to stay away from their house?
Because everyone suspects the Aras family carries Patakong blood, but they can't do anything because the family's too powerful. It's building up to this tragedy with Labo, the son-in-law.
What happens with Labo?
So Toding's friend Rudy gets sick, and the village gathers at his house. Someone tries to force their way in. It's Labo, and his eyes are glowing red.
The high level one.
Yeah. He stares at Rudy, and Rudy just weakens and dies.
That's insane. Do they catch him?
They chase him, but he disappears. The family denies everything. People are furious, but powerless because of the family's status.
There's another encounter though, right? With Dale and Toting on a path?
Yeah, they are cycling home and see this figure standing rigid with red eyes. Dale pulls Toding behind a bush. It's a naked Patakong, the low-level type. Dale threatens it with a blade.
I love how the story gives practical advice, like use a sharp object or even onions to sting the eyes.
Right? The narrator literally says use sharp things or onions and always pray. It's very practical folk wisdom.
Wait, doesn't Lebo's wife Tenriani also become a parakang?
Yeah, but she's lower level. She can be fought off with prayer or a knife, unlike Labo, whose power is way more dangerous.
So one family has both levels. That's terrifying.
It shows how this dark knowledge can exist in degrees, you know, and the community has different ways of dealing with each level.
I'm trying to keep track here. First, livestock attacks, then exile, then years later, a human victim, then a close call for toting. Does it stop after that?
The text says after Dale confronts the threats, the accusations, drawing weapons, chasing them away, the immediate danger decreases. But the belief is that it persists because the practice gets inherited.
Someone even took a photo in 2024 thinking they caught a parakan?
Yeah, the narrator mentions a 2024 photo, and parakang might still be living among people.
Okay, so as an anthropologist, how do you read this connection between agricultural hardship, greed, and the rise of Tadek?
It's classic, right? Economic strain invites magical solutions. The tale uses tarek and parakang as metaphors for social anxiety about shortcuts to wealth and what those shortcuts cost morally.
So it's both literal folklore and a cautionary tale about social change.
Exactly. And the inheritance angle, families passing it down, that reflects real cultural concerns about lineage and honor and unwanted legacies.
There's also this power dynamic where villagers can't act against powerful families even when they suspect them.
Right. It shows how social power and fear work together. People whisper, we know, but we can't prove it. And the result is just resigned vigilance instead of justice.
The book says villagers will mark anyone with burned legs as suspect. That's like a surveillance strategy born from fear.
Yeah, it's the community trying to rationalize the threat, find a physical sign, and ostracize the carrier. It's crude, but understandable.
But that can lead to scapegoating pretty easily.
Absolutely. Folklore like this both protects and endangers communities because accusations can fracture trust.
But the defense tips, though, blade, onion, prayer, are these common in Indonesian ghost stories?
Very common. Many Indonesian traditions use sharp objects, pungent plants like shallots, and prayer to ward off spirits. It's this mix of physical and spiritual countermeasures.
So it's both botanical and ritual knowledge, which is totally your field.
Yeah, ethnobotany shows how everyday plants play roles in protection. Onions sting eyes, certain names cleanse, that kind of thing.
One line really stuck with me. The narrator says parakang are not supernatural beings, but humans who lose control. That ambiguity is powerful.
It's deliberate. It keeps responsibility in the human realm. The terror isn't some otherworldly thing, it's human choices corrupted by power.
And the nakedness versus clothing thing. Low level come out naked, high level keep clothes. Is there symbolic meaning there?
I think nakedness signifies shame or regression to an animal state, while clothed predators represent hidden danger within society. People who present respectability but harm others.
Oh, whoa, that makes sense. Clothing has social camouflage.
And the detail about high-level parakang targeting fetuses and blood, that's predation on the most vulnerable, a metaphor for extreme exploitation.
The tale mixes horror and social critique really well. Do you think villagers still tell this to teach lessons?
Definitely. Oral histories like this transmit warnings. Beware of easy wealth. Watch your neighbors. Honor communal protections like prayer and vigilance.
Also, don't burn trash near your ankles if you're a gardener named Ibaba.
Right. Though Ibaba's explanation was probably sincere, but being expelled from two villages sealed his fate.
The narrative mentions the practice can be inherited. How does that affect descendants who don't want it?
That's tragic. Descendants might be stigmatized or feared regardless of choice. It's like cultural determinism in folklore form.
The book says some descendants might not want to follow but are compelled to accept the legacy. That's heavy.
Yeah. Black magic brings tragedy across generations.
I like the detail where Dale teaches Toading to use sharp objects and onions. Very practical.
That mentoring scene is crucial. It's about equipping the next generation with both physical and spiritual tools to survive.
Do you think modernity weakens belief in parakang, or does it just change how the legend functions?
Modernity complicates it. Some dismiss these tales, but others reframe them as heritage or warnings about corruption. That 2024 photo shows the legend adapts and persists.
That photo line freaked me out. Someone taking a picture then thinking, could that be a parakang? And the narrator says, La hola wala quwata illa billah.
It's reflexive. People invoke God to ward off fear and affirm that ultimate protection is spiritual, not just practical tools.
So our takeaway, don't trust shortcuts, watch livestock, learn knife skills, keep shallots around, and pray.
Yeah, and don't ignore neighbors who come back with strange scars. Listen to your elders because their stories encode survival tactics.
We covered a lot. Origin myths with two-tiered threat, Ibaba, Jusran's vigil, Rudy's death, Labo and Tinriani, and the legacy into modern times.
Key points being parakang arise from tarak and greed, low versus high level differ in appearance and targets, and community responses blend ritual, practical measures, and social surveillance.
Any last cultural note before we wrap up?
Just remember that folklore is both mirror and manual. It reflects social fears and gives concrete practices. When we hear stories like this, listening for both the horror and the survival lessons.
Wow, that was fascinating. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, this was fun. And please, listeners, respect the communities behind these stories when you share them.
All right, catch you later.
Take care.